Hey guys, before we get started with the new video, I just wanted to thank all the new subscribers that we've been getting lately. And second of all, if you like what you see here, tell your friends, share the videos, all that good stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because welcome to episode 0 of Fight Club, where guess what? There are no rules. On October 24th, 2020, Khabib Nurmagomedov, if I am pronouncing that right, had to go up against Justin Gaethje for the title of UFC. There was a lot riding on this, with the fact that Tony Ferguson was screaming to want to go up against him. But after his loss against Justin Gaethje, Gaethje gets a chance against Khabib. And after watching that match and knowing that that was Khabib's last match, no one knew that it was going to be his last match. But why am I talking about the UFC? Because today I want to kind of give you an idea of how I fell in love with video games. As a kid, I used to do a lot of mixed martial arts, from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to Muay Thai to even just simple karate. And fighting games kept that spirit within me. From just the simplicity of just the simple 1-2 punches. When people keep asking me, hey, Will, how are you so good at Tekken? Because I applied a lot of what I learned from mixed martial arts into into video games. And for the most part, yeah, if you at least have a monicum of fighting prowess or know what you're doing, you could easily play Sagat blindfolded on Street Fighter V. You could easily just pick up a random video game you've never played before and still be fine. But that's not also the reason why I liked fighting games. See, there were two things happening when I was at the age of doing mixed martial arts. I was getting into mixed martial arts, and I was also getting into Naruto. For those that don't know, Naruto is an anime where a spunky young kid wants to basically become king of the pirates. No, seriously, it's basically a ninja version of One Piece, and that's as far as I'm going to give it credit. When I was 13, it was the more graphic animation that I have seen, and the perfect example of what made me fall in love with specifically anime is the fight with Zabuza, as he gets turned on by every single corporate lawyer that hired him in the first place. He gets stabbed in the back multiple times, to the point where you see about a good 20 to 30 knives jutting out at him. As he limps over to the main director of this whole insanity. It's then learned that he just wants all this to end. But before he can do anything to the director, he dies. This is why I like fighting games. It has the ferocity at times like the UFC, where literally you could be beating someone to a pulp in the corner. But it also has the fluidity and style of anime. So, I wanted to do a mental exercise, and I even wrote down some of the stuff. We're going to be talking about certain fighting games and what they look like in my eyes to anime. We're going to start with the easiest one and probably the most controversial one, Street Fighter. More specifically, I'm going to be using the more modern, up-to-date versions. So if I say Street Fighter, I'm going to have Street Fighter V up because I've been playing that more recently and I have a better knowledge of Street Fighter V. So let's get this out of the way. Street Fighter V is the 4Kids dub of fighting games. Now, wait. Okay, I know what you're thinking. But wait, 4Kids dub is shit. Yeah, but hear me out. Okay, so for those of you that don't know what a 4Kids dub is, I turned to either Pokemon back when, like in the first couple of seasons, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the prime example of the 4Kids dub, or even One Piece back when it started. And what it always did was it made people sound very cliche, was very simplistic, and when you're done playing or when you're done watching, you're for the most part satisfied. Maybe you'll come back next week. It depends on what episode it was. And there's a lot of filler. So why am I calling Street Fighter V basically nothing but filler arcs? Well, when Street Fighter V is good, it's like, the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Ash Ketchum at the Johto League. So, 4Kids dub, we've joked about and called it shit. But when it's good, it's good. And that's the same thing with Street Fighter. When it's good, I actually enjoy playing it. But when it's bad, it's like seeing Joey Wheeler with the cringe meme face. And more specifically, because the abridged version covered this already, the second tournament arc, where it's like, we've already done this, and now we're bringing in a stereotypical German, Russian, Scandinavian. They really didn't know which accent to stick him with, and dear God. But that's not the point. The point is that Street Fighter V is I'm watching it, it's enjoyable, and I'm having fun with this. And I don't want to really skew on the topic anymore because, to be honest, I'm not that big into Street Fighter. I'm actually think out of all the games that we're about to list here, I think Street Fighter is the weakest of the fighting games, and that's even including Smash Brothers. And I don't even think Smash Brothers is a fighting game. I think it's more like a party game, like Mario Party. But to continue. Next, let's talk about Mortal Kombat 11. So, Mortal Kombat 11, if we were to choose an anime, it would have to be violent, there would have to be blood, and maybe even some sexy women. So, what would be the best anime for Mortal Kombat 11? My personal opinion is, to be honest, Mortal Kombat 11 is like Dead Man Wonderland. Now, yes, Dead Man Wonderland may have only had one season while the manga was ongoing, but I do believe that in terms of its ferocity, its violence, and the fact that literally they use blood as weapons, I think it fits Mortal Kombat's style. This was also the first anime that really got me, kind of in all honesty, desensitized to violence. And so Dead Man Wonderland makes the most sense in terms of MK11 because it does have that violence, that ferocity, and buckets of blood, which is now the name of a Jedi. Fun fact about your main. So let's get to Guilty Gear Rev 2, and we'll do Dragon Ball FighterZ at the same time. So Dragon Ball FighterZ is just Dragon Ball. Hey, you want Dragon Ball? Here's Dragon Ball. Do you want more Dragon Ball? Here's Dragon Ball. And especially with Super Baby 2 coming out on Friday, I am most certainly going to be doing kind of a quick 30-minute stream on Super Baby 2. But yeah, so I had to get Dragon Ball Z out of the way. But Guilty Gear Revelator 2, or just the Guilty Gear franchise. What is the one anime that has crazy convoluted plot lines, crazy flamboyant characters, and more animation flexing than, well, someone bench pressing 300 pounds? That's right, it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yes, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The adventuring never stops with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, I think JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is aptly fit for this anime, or for this fighting game, because Guilty Gear gets weird. I mean, look at the contortionist known as Faust. And then in Strive, as we're seeing, he is now more Scarecrow than, Doctor that walks through the dimensional portal door of the ER and walks out and beats you with a stick. If there was any character I would point at to why I think Guilty Gear is like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I would point to Faust, in my opinion. There are other characters I could point to as well, like Nightmare Lena or Faust. Just Faust. Faust. This episode was brought to you by the letter Faust. So what's next? So we did that. We did that. Okay. Now we're getting good shit, like that creme de la creme shit. So basically, when you're binge watching your anime, you're getting into the crap, the typical shonen at this point. What about the other 90s shonen? What about the Bleaches of the world? What about the One Pieces? What about the Inuyashas? That, my friends, is reserved for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, why do I say this? Because it has a cavalcade of crazy, insane characters, from the little furry Tom character in Inuyasha to Luffy in One Piece. Literally, you could binge watch one of those 90s shonen, and it's like watching a Smash Brothers tournament. Because, and who's Bayonetta? I will tell you who Bayonetta is. Bayonetta is your best girl on that 90s anime shit. List your best girl in the comments section below. So, Inuyasha actually in some ways makes a perfect comparison, because you have all the villains and all the heroes, and then if you just stack, maybe you watch an episode of Inuyasha, maybe you watch after that an episode of One Piece, and then an episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. At that point, you have so many characters, you're just like, I'm overwhelmed and I don't know how to deal with this. So, okay. So, your next best thing is to make a game where you said, hey, let's put all these characters together. Not that. No. I'm not talking about Jump Force. Jump Force is worse than 4Kids dub. Jump Force is 80s anime dubs. It's so bad, I won't watch it. Anyway. So, Super Smash Brothers is like just watching Goku, or in this case, you fight Ichigo fighting freaking Luffy for the title of Evo Championship. It's that level of insanity. And yeah, it is like watching Mario fight Sephiroth, fight fucking Dr. Mario, or Link, or Ganondorf. It gets that crazy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are a few games I've been sticking out and not wanting to talk about. Mostly because I have a large bias towards these games. And if I had to say, these 4 games are like the games I personally love. So we're going to start with Bandai Namco's games, which is Tekken 7 and Soul Calibur 6. So I had to think about this, because what would Soul Calibur 6 be? Soul Calibur 6 is where you're seeing a bunch of fantasy characters beat the crap out of each other for control of the earth, for a sword. At first I was going to say it was like Berserk, but Berserk is almost too edgy for Soul Calibur. Berserk makes Soul Calibur look like Care Bears level of fighting games. It is that soft core about its violence. But then I'm like, okay, wait, we need something that covers the hentai of it all. Because we have Ivy. So I had to think about this one real hard. So what has the level of violence, like in Berserk, and what has the level of hentai fan service in any hentai ever? For Ivy's sake, in this case, or any woman character in Soul Calibur 6, I know, I'm so sorry. Don't blame me! Okay, so... Fuck. So I put Black Clover as the anime for Soul Calibur. Now wait a minute, what am I talking about? Okay, so what am I talking about here? Okay. Yes, for those of you that don't know, Black Clover is the worst subbed anime ever. For those that don't know, it is the anime that has the main character going, "Ah!" for 3 hours of the first arc. We hope you like hearing an anime character scream at the top of his lungs like a fucking pompous idiot. But the action, in some cases, is over the top. If I had maybe a second chance to kind of, think about this, I would say maybe One Punch Man. Now, why am I saying One Punch Man? Because it has all the cavalcade of heroes that are just so interestingly designed. Mitsurugi, Nightmare, Siegfried. Then you got that one character that's not even trying to play and just owns your ass, knows how to do the reversals, and just one punches your ass. In terms of the fighting aesthetics, One Punch Man is probably the perfect anime of Soul Calibur 6. But that's not what we're doing it on. We're doing it on story, character design, and how they act. And based on that, it's either Seven Deadly Sins or Black Clover. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, Seven Deadly Sins is Soul Calibur 6. You know what? Yeah, no. We're not doing Black Clover. Seven Deadly Sins is what the anime version of Soul Calibur is. Because it's all of them essentially fighting for one sword. There's good guys, there's bad guys. Some of the bad guys are so hentai as shit. It's not funny. No, that's perfect. Fight me. And if you don't like it, you can go into the comment section below and eat it. Alright, so we got through that. So Tekken 7. I don't know if you guys know this, but I like Tekken 7 a lot. A whole goddamn lot. So Tekken 7, I was like, okay, what would be a great fighting tournament where every fight is like a freaking football game where you're rooting for one team and you're also at the same time rooting for the other team. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's see who is it. Because I always compared Tekken to watching a UFC fight at times, where you're just in it to watch the action. Oh yeah, Baki exists. Yeah, so Netflix came out with an anime called Baki, and it follows the chronicles of Grappler Baki as he tries to be king of the pirates, tries to outdo his dad, pick one. But literally, his dad is Heihachi in this case, and Baki is Jin. I mean, Baki's dad didn't throw him into a volcano, but given the circumstances, we're pretty close here, guys. We're pretty close. That being said, I think Baki is the perfect match of oh, this is Tekken 7. This is just machismo fighting. Now, yes, of course, there aren't that many women that fight in Baki, and that's because it's mostly a wrestling tournament or a UFC tournament. I think there's a few women that fight in the series, but we haven't seen them yet. Hell, I can't wait to see Hillary Clinton versus whatever your mind filled in there that's that. But yeah. Because guess what? YouTube and now has an algorithm where if I say that person's name, I get demonetized. Next, we're going to do SNK. And SNK for this anime is like art house anime. You know, the Ufotables of the world at best. And at worst, it's Kill la Kill. We'll get to Kill la Kill in a second, because yes, I do love Kill la Kill. So it's either Studio Trigger or Studio Ufotable. Which one is it? Samurai Showdown is like Demon Slayer. Yeah, so this one's pretty obvious because they both have samurai like fighting styles, but Sam Show is very Sam Show was, in all honesty, like watching the main character in Demon Slayer use his water forms and watch those water forms become art. Meanwhile, in King of Fighters, we have more of like, Kill la Kill, where their personalities are a little bit more exaggerated. It's not as like watching water flow and more watching everything explode in your face, a giant explosion in the screen turns to white, all those cliches. But the story is start small and then it gets to bullshit. Look no further than King of Fighters 13, my dudes. But yeah, overall, if I like that is where I stand on how I feel about anime and fighting games. And yeah, I love anime. Like whatever the berserk of anime is, I think the berserk of anime would be like if what's the name of the game? I can't think of like because Killer Instinct, in my opinion, would be like I'm trying to think here. You know what? This may be controversial, but I think Killer Instinct is like the My Hero Academia of fighting games. Like, it really got a lot of love and praise during the beginning of its series, but then kept bringing in new characters. It brought in Halo. It's owned by Microsoft. And yeah, now we're here. Did anyone ever know that Ichijo is just backwards for bullshit? No? Cool. Hey guys, it's Will, and thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see here, please click like and subscribe. We like to know what recorded content is working on this channel. And if you guys really enjoyed this stuff, you might want to give a comment, Tell us what you think. We want to be more communicative in the community. So, and without further ado, that's all folks. Let's rock and have a good day. Peace.